Hello movie lovers, Bob for Bob's Movie Review here, and today I'd like to review for you a movie I just watched called Edge of Tomorrow. This one was sent to me for review by Warner Brothers. If you get a chance to check this one out, we'll love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I will be sure to include more information, including affiliate links to purchase one down in the description. So this is the first time on 4K Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. A really cool movie starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, in where it's the future. I guess it's somewhat in the future. I'm not sure if they say exactly. And some sort of alien has basically attacked Earth, but for some reason stayed out of the United States, and they're like mounting one last offensive, like in Europe, I believe it was. And so soldiers, thousands of soldiers are sent in with almost like these mini mech suits to fight them. Now this guy wants Tom Cruise to go in there and put a positive spin on it, and there's gonna be lots of casualties, but he can make people think it, this is a good decision, it's the right thing to do. Not necessarily that they had any choice. And he says, I'm really not a soldier, I'm like a journalist or public relations or something. He's really not trying to fight, and basically they go back and forth. He's basically forced to join the fight, and they send him to this place, and they say he's a deserter and he's not an officer and all this stuff. And so the next day he goes into battle, and very quickly he dies, but as killing an alien, and like the blood of the alien mixes with his blood. I'm not sure exactly what happens there, but he dies, and then he wakes up and he's back to the previous day or whatever when he woke up, and he's got this whole deja vu thing going. And what happens is every time he dies, he starts the day over. Now this has been done, quite a few times. So it's not necessarily a new idea of reliving the same day over and over and trying to convince people that you are, or trying to get a different outcome, or learning from your mistakes. And so he tries and tries to kind of just survive. And then he meets Emily Blunt's character, and she says, when you wake up, come find me. And turns out it had happened to her. Something about this alien's blood caused it, but she lost it now. And so he needs to figure out how to win this battle. And she's going to train him. And they go through a really, really long process of all his trial and errors and all these different ideas. And while I don't dislike it, I feel like they probably go on a little too long with this trial and error thing. And eventually he realizes he could never save her, and he has to start making all these really hard decisions. He's trying to save his whole team, but then he's like, well, it never works out. Like, what can I do differently to make this work out? And then finally he breaks the cycle, and then they go after like the head alien, or they called it the Omega. I didn't know exactly what it was, but they all kind of go after this Omega. Now that was a really interesting movie. I loved the two leads in this one, and there's actually some humor in it. They did definitely have some fun things happen. Or at least funny in the story. Obviously, all these ways he died wasn't fun, but it was very interesting. The 4K to me, I didn't think it was anything like crazy good, but I mean, it looked fine. But I just, a lot of modern movies, when they get 4K upgrades, they're not super noticeable. It's not like a leaps and bounds, and maybe do a side-by-side comparison. You'll see differences, but I don't really have the setup to do that. So there's nothing wrong with it, but it just didn't blow me away at all. The movie, love the movie. I've always enjoyed it. Always. This is the second time I saw it, but I enjoyed it the first time. I enjoyed it this one. I think it's a little long. Like I said, they go so much into this trial and error that I just feel like maybe they should have just cut that a little shorter, because how many times do you got to see them try to do the same thing, And So I give this one a 4. Tom Cruise is amazing. He's almost always amazing, and a really good looking movie, good special effects, really interesting story. If you haven't seen this one, it's definitely worth checking out. If I remember correctly, like, a lot of people slept on this one when it first released, but it's definitely a good sci-fi action movie. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe to the channel, gently touch that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.